Hello party people, welcome to day 2 of tuning extravaganza party wildness with Mr. Bader and the missing.
I'm here.
He's right there. We're gonna be doing more. We're gonna be doing more 6-cylinder goodness today. Said we're starting out with some drivability updates.
Yep.
A couple changes. I did put in a set of 1-step cooler plugs, so that should help us for some of the more power stuff. But aside from that, we should be pretty same. Still on E85. Everything's pretty much identical, to be honest. It's just got the 11 mil oil. Honestly, the only change, 11 mil oil pump, different crank sprocket, which I already checked timing, and it's still spot on. It's the same sprocket anyway, so it shouldn't have changed anyways. And new plugs. So some ear plugs in, because this is gonna blow out all of our eardrums again. Are you pulling it on?
You're pulling it on. I gotta go flat the map on the straight car.
I gotta pull it on? That's fine, I'll pull it on. Dude, when I drove the 911 off, I fucking sent it and jumped off the rollers and went boom, 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 boom. Ah. Get really loud, like really loud. It's gonna be great. You need earplugs. Corey out some. These are absolutely needed for this car, 100%. Corey, what's your power guess?
Power guess 825.
820
as it sits right now.
What about torque?
Torque? God, I don't remember where this thing was at. It's probably gonna make.
We don't know. We don't know.
It's got to be close to 1,000 with that 6-cylinder.
You think? What's your power guess?
Power guess?
For right now, right off the rip after we get it cleaned up.
I'd like to see anything 800 plus.
You think that's where it is right now?
That's what I'd like to see.
What if it comes back as like 400 and then this entire time I've just been hyping up a 400 horsepower?
That sounds about right.
Yeah, right.
Yep.
It's so fast. It's fucking 400 horsepower. Car's loaded up, strapped down. We're gonna do a couple cleanup things on. I don't know why I'm so zoomed in right there. We're gonna do a couple cleanup things on driving. Finally see where we're at for power, and then turn this thing up as much as we can within the realm of it being somewhat happy. So we don't have a 100% accurate number for what the car made last time. I know a lot of people wanted to know the dyno wasn't working properly, but it did allow us to tune the car and actually allow me to be able to drive it and enjoy it a little bit. So today we're actually gonna be able to see the graph, see some accurate numbers, and kind of see where the car actually is. I was joking with Josh, I was like, watch it actually only make like 400, 450 horsepower. And I've just been hyping up a 400 horsepower car the entire time. Wouldn't that be funny? I think it makes like so much power and it's only like 400.
You might need Onyx's plate then that says sell it.
Right. Don't look at me.
You pissed it off.
I didn't do shit. We're working on idle and drivability a little bit just to try to clean things up before we start doing any real power stuff. Down from that on idle pretty smooth.
And I would like it to be better. Those O2 control is working now.
It is.
So all that's working, but the idle thing is definitely not as good as I would like it to be.
I mean, that's plagued us for a while. I mean, every time we get back in it, we try to clean it up more and more. far, this is gonna be our baseline. It says test started up there, so we'll see what happens. I like how that graph just goes up. That thing just disappears. That's not bad. That's a good amount of torque for it too. From the end of last session, 747, 670. Woo! Not bad. Thoughts, sir?
I'm gonna look over the data, see where we were on boost, make sure we're back where we were, make sure all the air fuel is good. One way to go.
Right off the rip, not bad. That honestly feels kind of on par. Car makes 750 wheels, 670 foot-pounds of torque. Josh is looking over the data. We're gonna start turning it up from here, see how far we can push this thing. Now that we have a dyno that is actually reading and working properly, and we can actually see a graph that's representative of the car now, we can actually start giving it more beans. Because I like beans. I wanna push these beans all the way to the moon. So 750, 670 right off the rip. That's good torque too. We adjusted boost control a little bit. So that was 34 pounds, 750 wheel, 670 wheel torque. So we'll see where it lands this time. The 4 ports are touchy. So
see, I've touched probably about 100 cars since this one, so I can't really tell you where we were at for increase on boost on per duty cycle.
I can't either, if we're being honest.
So I went up from 28% to 34 at the peak, so this might be really spicy or it should be pretty spot on.
We're gonna find out. It's either way, it'll be exciting. That's fucking... What?
Yeah.
Yeah!
For you.
How much boost was that?
All?
I
don't know, it was like 45 at one point.
That was only 45? 70.
Alright.
Don't actually go to 70, but...
Go to 70.
Go to whatever you feel.
70 years.
That sounded real fucking good out there. That looks good. You said you could clean up right there? Don't. Engine RPM over rev. Fuck that. Go delete that. Thank you. Fuck that one.
Still gaining.
Little what?
We're still gaining.
So 851, 656. We're gonna clean that up. Don't stress it. Don't stress it. We're not there yet.
Alright.
We ain't there yet. So Josh is cleaning up the mid-range from what you guys just saw on that graph. He's also making a couple more adjustments. We're gonna keep turning the car up. It wants more and it wants to rev out farther. So we're gonna keep going. Right now we're looking good. We're at 850, 650 Mustang. And we're gonna keep going until the car doesn't want to give us anymore. And it's in like a happy spot. We're only at 60% injector duty cycle at that 850, 650. So it's really cool to actually see numbers and a graph that's going with the car and the power. The idle is still something we're gonna have to figure out later on. It idles okay. I'm not gonna sit here and tell you it's perfect, but Josh and I are doing what we can within our power to make that car idle as good as we can. So we're thinking it's something to do with the trigger reference at low voltage or low RPM. So let's, we'll get these, we'll let them continue. I don't know what I'm doing with my fucking hands. We'll let them keep cleaning up the map. And then from there, we'll just keep doing pulls until we can't anymore. Like that 860, 679 spot. One problem we're running into is this vibrant radiator cap. The only reason we technically have that on the car is before we had the expansion tank, we needed somewhere to burp and fill the cooling system. We don't need that anymore because I have the expansion tank. So I have another one of these coolant crossovers at the house. I'm just gonna swap over to that one in the future. That will alleviate literally any spitting coolant like that. Looks a lot better. It looks like it just wants to keep coming.
As you can see, motor power is there, right? And then boost is coming in. That's where I'm cleaning up that transition there.
Yeah.
We're still gaining power. Right there, I revved it out. It's like right around the 8,500 region. Still gaining. So we'll let it continue. I'll rev it further out this time, add some more boost, clean up some fueling, and then we'll be good from there. Nice flat torque band there.
Yeah, torque looks good.
Best this car's ever sounded.
It is. Do you want to see the video on my phone from that bull?
Dude, there was flames. I could see.
Dude, it was fucking. Here. Hang on, look at this shit. Did the glowing red frighten you at first?
I just didn't know what it meant.
It's normal. It's just everything getting hot.
Oh, okay.
So we're gonna, ooh, wow, I'm so dark right there. So we're gonna turn it up a little bit more. I'll hit the fans, go a little bit more, see what the car wants to be. It is spitting coolant out of that cap, so we just gotta keep an eye on it so it doesn't become a projectile and shoot across the shop and potentially hit someone. So I'd advise standing back a little bit. I'm gonna stand right over it with my mouth open.
Put your vagina on it.
You want me? That's gonna come out my mouth. I don't think you guys can hear Josh right now. Josh is talking poop. Josh poop talking. So I'm gonna hit the fans. We're gonna do another run. I got bad news. We ran out of fuel system. Not necessarily fuel system. Our injector duty cycle is only 60%. We ran out of fuel pump. I have two Walbro 535s in there. So I was talking to Josh, and the next step for us would be a mechanical pump. We're gonna turn boost back down, and then fuel should compensate for that. We should bump back up to like that 860, like 861, 680-ish number, which converted, I don't know, over to Dyno Jets. We'll do the conversions at the end of this, but right now it's looking like 860, 680 Mustang with the fuel system tapped. So next step, if we want more fuel, is to go to a mechanical pump, which Cosmic Motorsports makes, and it would bolt right up to this engine. So obviously I'm not gonna not do that. Of course we're gonna put a mechanical fuel pump on here next, send it to the moon. So we'll let Josh make his corrections, do a couple more dial-in pulls, and then we're trying not to piss off Karen. There's a lady who lives up on the hill who likes to call the police on us, so.
Melted something.
What do you mean we melted something?
You see that?
No.
Where it's glowing orange and then cracked down through there? What is it sitting on?
Oh! Oh, that's the flex pipe. We broke the exhaust.
And the fabricator's already left.
Tow it home. We broke the exhaust manifold. It can't be that bad. I'm just gonna have to drive it home nicely. I'll take a look at limp dick header down there.
Yeah, good. Stick your hand under there. No, down below.
No, look from the bottom.
No, look from the bottom. On the driver's side. Don't get in front of it. Driver's side. Driver's side.
Driver's side.
Let me do it. Let me do it.
Bro, you made my exhaust manifold go limp.
Yeah, that's a problem.
That's a little bit of a problem. We'll get that fixed.
Yeah, you're gonna find out those don't usually work very well there.
Cause that's not
ideal.
No, that's less than ideal.
You need to put a limiting strap on those.
So,
But that's what we're gonna call it.
yeah, if that's all that broke, I still say it's the best dyno session. We pushed the car so far, we melted the exhaust manifold.
44 pounds today. Pretty much at the limit of our fuel system there, unfortunately. It is within a range of where I want to be for air fuel. A little bit leaner than I'd like. I'd like to add a little more. As I did add now, that injector duty came up. We were at 60%, now we're at 85%. So I know if I add more, we're inevitably gonna go up in injector duty and probably not gonna get much of a change on our AFR. So that's gonna wrap it for now. We need more fuel, my guy.
And we need a better exhaust manifold.
Yeah,
That was, I've never had that happen before.
that was ripping.
This thing,
That was revving it pretty far out. That was like 9,200.
I'm gonna be honest, if that, yeah, we'll get rid of that flex pipe and just,
6-cylinder,
Thankfully-
9,000 plus.
right, that was 9,000 plus?
That was, if I recall, I have to go look. Dyno always falls a little shy here, but I'll look. It was right around 9.
Final number 840 616 Mustang.
Yeah. Finally got it to lay down up top. We've been revving it all day long to see where it was going to lay, and I just finally stayed in it. until
That
it
revs
laid down.
out pretty far for that thing.
Pretty impressive for, I mean, from what we saw in the scene before, it always is laid down. So it
Yeah.
was
This time it
kinda
just didn't want to.
took us back today on it having like a Honda-like power band. Pretty surprised.
It
I wasn't
finally laid
expecting
down when the manifold laid down.
it. That is true. That could have been some of it too. And it obviously could have affected some of our power, everything today.
Right.
Could be why, I don't know at what point that did it. It's not like we got under there and
It
looked.
just did that.
So,
That was on that last pull it did that.
all right, well that makes me feel better. At least we did most of our tuning with it not broke, hopefully. Those flex bells, it's not uncommon when you get to a certain amount of pressure, back pressure, that they'll expand. I've ran them on my personal setup and we've definitely gone through a couple We have a system that works pretty good now that still gives us the flexibility of putting the header on, or you could have a slip joint type of thing like what ETS uses. Some way to have some give there, but it's inevitable they're going to do it at some point. They're a wear item.
Thankfully, that's just a center section V-band piece because it goes to a V-band on the up pipe and it comes off a V-band off of that exhaust manifold. So it's just a center section piece that runs between there. So it'll be easy to replace.
Today was the best day we've had with the car.
Yeah.
100%. The car sounds the best it's ever done. It's performing the best it's ever done. We're
making
going
power.
through more hurdles. We're making more power than we've ever made with the car.
We keep finding
we're on more boost
issues
than we've ever been on it. Today has been all the way up to 48 pounds, but I just don't have a fuel system to support the 48 pounds. So
I think for now, we'll go ahead, we'll swap out the broken things, which is the spitting coolant, broken exhaust manifold. We'll get those fixed and then start looking into fuel system upgrades. Do I need to swap out that regulator for a bigger one?
no, you already have the bigger one on there.
Yeah.
So
The one with the adjustable
regulator,
spring.
You're fine with
Okay.
what you got.
It's just fuel pump?
Yeah, it's just fuel pump.
What if I had 2 more 535s?
No, just be done. We're also going to have an issue where they have a relief point.
No more drop-in fuel pumps?
So once we get to a certain amount of boost level, then we'll hit the relief point, and then we'll be in the same
So
problem.
it should just be a lift pump to an external pump?
Correct.
And then, okay.
You can even just run one.
I
is
mean,
a
that's
lift.
probably what I'll just do, is just disconnect one of the 535s and just have one 535 as a lift.
And that'll be fine.
Damn. Well, I say we let that exhaust manifold cool down for a little bit longer before we turn this thing back on and pull it off, just so it can harden back up a little bit.
Yeah, probably be a good idea.
And then this thing will just get babied home. Watch, I'm gonna do one pull, that thing's just gonna crumble.
He wanted 60 PSI today. I was trying to work my way up there, but it just wasn't going to make it.
No, we keep
2 extra cylinders are in there slurping. They want more fuel.
They want all of it.
So
We are going to go ahead and limp Melty Magoo here back to the house. We're legit just gonna limp it home on the freeway. Can't really do any pull. I mean, technically we could do a pull right now, but that's really not a smart idea to do. I'm not gonna risk blowing up this engine with a melted exhaust manifold. I already talked to Nolan, the gentleman who helped us do the 911's exhaust. Sent him some pictures of our melty exhaust manifold. He said it's easy fix. There's V-bands on both sides of it. It's just, that's like the gen, or the, I don't want to even say Gen 1. That's like the V1 turbo kit that we had on that car when it first got made. And if a bellow melting, and I was talking to Josh about this, Josh was even saying, and you guys heard it, those bellows up at high horsepower tend to fail. He's had them fail on him before as well. So best dyno session of this car yet. And I know some people are gonna be like, every time the car goes on the dyno, something breaks. So you build something that's kind of weird and one-off and figure things out as you go.
yeah, would you stop breaking shit?
Technically, you broke it.
Thanks.
No,
Blame the tuner, right?
It wasn't you.
Rubbing out and seeing a power graph from where we had before.
Especially from last time, because we weren't seeing anything accurate.
Before, always having this car to where it never seemed like it wanted to rev. And then today we saw a very much different car where the power graph just kept going until we finally got it to lay over. And even at the end of that pull there, could have been some of that.
Yeah.
Because to be honest with you, it was still gaining more before this. At
Honestly,
that RPM.
I think it laying over was due to that exhaust manifold doing that.
Because I did see manifold pressure start to tame down too, which is a direct sign that we have a leak, right? Or we're out of the efficiency of the turbo, which we shouldn't be at that boost level. So definitely was a good side to see to it today, and to see out of the H6. I mean, to see an H6 rev much past 8,500 RPMs is pretty crazy.
I did the conversion over to DynoJet. We're just shy of 1,000.
Yeah,
Just shy. I think we're at 967.
right there.
We'll get there.
You know, if you would have been a man and bought a 7685, we would be there right
Bro,
now.
I've told you, I literally bought that turbo like 2 weeks before they released the 7685.
They've always had a 7685.
Not the next gen.
Not the next gen. You're right.
And that's what I was looking for when I was buying. I was looking for next gen, and they only had the 7675 out at the time.
You should put one on the car because we're at the boost level right now that the car would make more power and we could be at less boost, which would be more efficient for the engine.
So should I just put the 7675 on the 07
Please do.
on a stock motor?
Sure. I mean, look at VA bait. So,
you're right.
You-
You're right.
It would be more efficient for you to do that because, I mean, at this boost level, I could be at 1,000 with a
They make
7685 easily.
I'm assuming they make 7685s in T4 divided.
They do. Yeah.
That's what I think.
Most common.
Well, yeah, most of those bigger turbos
Yeah.
are all T4 divided.
It's most commonly what it would be. It'd be a great addition for this car, and I don't think you're really going to sacrifice much spool, to be honest with you.
Yeah. I mean, I think once we fix the little issues on the car, get the fuel system sorted a little bit better, then at that point start looking into a little bit larger of a turbos.
Just because of the point of fact, like you want a larger number, right? 1,000 wheel,
Yeah.
and here we are, and we're at 44 pounds on the car. I do believe revving it out and having a cleaner graph, we could get a touch closer. pretty normal for this turbo. I would say it's probably going to have to be in the higher 40s to get over that 1,000 wheel, because we're a 75 exhaust wheel. We can only do so much with back pressure. You have 6 cylinders as well, which will then add to that issue. Once we go higher in boost, we're going to have back pressure inevitably. I don't have a back pressure sensor, so I can't tell you physically what it is, but I can understand how the turbo works, and I know being at 44 pounds, we're getting closer to the threshold of that turbo. So if you had a 7685 and we had a larger exhaust wheel to be closer to 1-to-1 back pressure, it'll physically make more power at less boost, and the engine will be happier.
All right, talk me into it. You guys thought that the Subaru content was going to be going away just because we got the 911, and that is so not the case. Over the next month, it is strictly only going to be Subaru content. Looks like I'm pushing the RX-7 out a little bit farther because I have a nice list of things to do to this car. So over the next month, we're going to be changing a lot on it. So it seems like I tear the car down a lot, but that's because we tear the car down to make it better every single time. There is maybe 3 other people, actually no, there's only 2 other people I know that are pushing EG33s this far. When you convert the numbers over, like you guys saw on the screen, we are just shy of 1,000 wheel horsepower dyno jet numbers. Mustang, we're getting up there. I would like to get over 1,000 Mustang, which we will do. So on this list, I have a handful of things that I'm gonna try my damnedest to get done over the next month. We're gonna be adding a surge tank. We're going to be using a Aeromotive brushless 5.0 smart controlled external fuel pump, which the Haltech will control that. We're going to use one of our 535s that's in the fuel tank as a lift pump to fill up the surge tank, and then the Aeromotive external pump will supply fuel up to the engine bay. That thing can do 5 gallons per minute, so it will flow. I was talking to Josh, that thing's rated up to 1,820 crank horsepower on E85, so that should alleviate literally any fuel pump problems we have. We're going to go ahead and cut the rear tire well out and just weld in a big steel sheet. We're going to swap all the vacuum lines in the engine bay over to push locks because the silicone lines with zip ties, they were popping off in the dyno, and I was continuously going up there to double zip tie things, triple zip tie things back on. So we're going to get that fixed. We're going to fix the exhaust manifold, that one section that failed. We're going to put a new bellow in there, and we're going to go ahead and strap it so that way it can't fail again, or at least give it more life. We're going to add a coolant pressure sensor. We're going to delete that secondary radiator cap that I have that we no longer need. I'm going to try to get an input-output expander as well, so that way we can add EGT and EMAP sensors into the car. EMAP is just exhaust manifold absolute pressure, so that way we can see exhaust manifold pressure as well as intake manifold pressure. EGTs are EGTs, so it would be nice to be able to see EGT temps. I just don't know if I'll have enough input outputs, so that's why I want to look into trying to get that input output expander. And then the 7675, we are actually just going to pull that off the car. I'm going to sell that 7675, and we're just going to go straight to an 8085. Josh and I were talking about that, and that seems to be kind of, if we're swapping turbos, that would be the better option for what we're going to be doing. So in the future, another change, as dumb as it sounds, is I want to redo the engine harness again. But when I go to redo the engine harness, I actually want to swap the entire electrical, I guess the ECU, to a Nexus R5. That'll probably be later down the line. I'm not going to stress that right now, but absolute solid progress. This is the best the car's ever done. I'm also going to change a couple wiring things in there for the crank trigger, so that way we can get a cleaner 12-volt signal. I think it's 12 volt or it's 5 volt. I'd have to check the wiring, but just so that way we can get a cleaner signal to it. So starting Monday, though, the 17 is going to be driven back over to the shop. So we're going to toss it on the lift and start making all of these changes to the car. There's no way I'm going to even be able to hide it from you guys, because you guys are going to see it anyways when we go to cut the rear trunk and add everything in. I'm also going to be adding some nitrous to the car, not necessarily for power, but for cooling. As you guys can see, things get hot. If we can help reduce temps, well, it'll be a small shot of nitrous, so it's not going to be anything crazy. So I'm excited. I started to lose motivation on this car a while ago, just because it's like I felt like I wasn't making a lot of progress on it. We kept hitting like little random problems and the dyno stuff from last time. So I am full steam ahead back on blue. We're gonna get this thing back over to the shop and get cracking early Monday morning. I've got some customer cars coming in next week, so there may be an intermission to knock out a couple EJ builds. If you guys want videos on that, let me know down below. But I'm excited. We are going to crack 1,000 Mustang, and then we're going to keep going as far as we can. I would like to try to bump up injector size, but I'm going to have to look into trying to have someone custom machine a set of intake manifold runner housings so we can run staged injection. If we could run staged injection, that would be icing on the cake. Our head gaskets are probably screaming for their life though, because they're not fire locked. They are standard MLS gaskets, so that's why I want to get a coolant pressure sensor in there. So really good progress, really happy with it. Thank you again, Josh. Josh is honestly like the only dude I trust to tune this car at this point. Josh and I have been through so much with this car from it's been on the dyno 4 or 5 times now. The very first time we broke a camshaft and the car just wasn't working right. The second time is when the flywheel came loose. The third time was last time it was tuned, and the fourth time was this past one. So every single time this car makes leaps and bounds, and like I said, it's all just like one-off stuff. So if you like the video, if you're excited for more Subaru blue content, go ahead, hit that like button, turn it black, blue, green, yellow, purple, silver sign, whatever color turns for you. And if you're excited to see this car go back on we're trying to do this next month. We are trying to get this car back on the dyno next month, so we have a lot to get on. So if you guys want to follow along, I'll put the subscribe button in one of these corners. If not, don't stress it. But with that, I will catch you guys in the next one. So peace out, homies. Woo! It's late again. Everyone's sleeping. I can't believe it.